We got a massive load of cherry. Just kidding. It's not really the biggest load of cherry, but I got a phone call yesterday. My buddy Jake had to take another tree down next to one of his buildings on his property. I guess the top of it was rotten. And he called and said, "Hey bud, I know you like cherry." And I said, "Yes, we do." So I got a pretty good chunk of the, like the main trunk piece. And then he asked if I wanted anything else. There was probably some more limb wood in there I could have got, but sometimes, you know, the smaller diameter wood that you get, it's just more of a pain in the butt to like process. And yes, it's cherry. You can fetch a little bit more money with bundles or smoker wood with it, but for the time that it would have taken me to process all the stuff that was like, you know, 3 or 4 inches round, he said, "Man, I'll just take that to the dump." I was like, "Cool." So yeah, while not the biggest load, there's I could get a couple bundles out of this, and then some of this limb wood I'm probably just gonna split up and put in my personal heat. Pretty cool load for an early Sunday morning. That's all I've got right now, but we'll come back in a couple days. What is going on? Welcome back to Log Cabin Fire. So my name is Jack, and today I'm gonna continue cleaning up some of this mess, and we're gonna get it into this mess. Let's do it. So I hope everybody's been great. And this is a bunch of mess. There's some maple, there's some poplar, there is some river birch. That's about all I see. There's a piece of, that might be a piece of oak back there. I can't really tell. Yeah, I think it's maple, actually. But this is a mess that little man dumped down here, kind of in the weeds. This was the remnants of what used to be up top where we were splitting before. This will be the old man's wood here on the property that I cut on now. And we're gonna get this into his bin because this is going to become his heat for this winter. I've mentioned it before. He normally would just cut trees down and split it and throw it right in his stove. A lot of people do that in the world. I don't like to do that, and since he's allowing me to cut over here and keep myself warm, I'm gonna keep him warm, and we are getting ahead for him to have some dry wood for himself this year. So I do have both saws out here. I got the MS 661 and my Stihl 500i, and I did put the factory exhaust back on this thing. Way quieter. It's still a loud saw, but on the last video when I was cutting up this pine, which it's not really all pine. A lot of it is like a juniper tree or a green giant, something like that. So we'll just say it's conifer. It's of the softer woods. But when I was cutting it with that saw last week over here, I noticed, you know, it wasn't like burping on me a ton. It was a lot easier on my ears. And yeah, that Egan straight shot, I think it's a cool muffler. I appreciate the thought, Mr. Eric. But yeah, I like the factory on the 661 just a little bit better. It's easier on my ears. But I forgot everything. I got off work, came over here, grabbed some saws. I don't have my helmet. I don't have my chaps. So safety police, here's your chance. Let her rip, Tater Chip. Look, I found our buddy again. I'm glad I found him. What's up, bud? Hi. Turtle power, man. Gotta take care of these guys. You got a tick on you. Let me get it off you. No? It came off. I'm gonna put this guy back over there. I think this is the same one we saw the other day. All right. Well, we made pretty good time on this one here. I'm either gonna go get the tractor or I'm gonna get the excavator, whatever the first thing is I run into up there. I gotta run across the street and get my generator and some gas for the machine and for the conveyor, and then I'll just start loading the bucket up and dumping it up over there because This is it's just too far to walk. Well, we came to an abrupt halt. The generator surged itself out, and I got a piece of wood stuck down here. It looks like it came all the way down the chute. I don't know, can you see that from there? Kind of. Let's clean some of this out, I'll show you. It must have hooked up top and hit itself, and then it's stuck. So I will have to go through and reverse the chain a little bit, I guess, just to get some pressure off of it, to see if I can pry it up. It looks like it's stuck on the hitch here. Alright, we'll put you like that, put you like that. Might have to get an axe or something. Alright, that one didn't work. We'll try the other way. I think we got her. Oh no. It's always when we're on a roll too. There's the culprit, guys. Welcome to Log Cabin Firewood. Well, we're almost done, so we're gonna go ahead and get this finished up. And it never fails. Things just get jammed up, so we will keep on going. So that is one of the reasons I love this little Predator generator. This little Predator 2000 generator, super quiet inverter, whatever they are. If a piece gets stuck in there, it trips this thing and it doesn't break the chain. So yes, that was a pain, but at least I don't have to repair the chain. Well, there we have it. We got the mess that was once right here cleaned up and into Pop's bin. Little man came over and took my wall that I had stacked up here. So we had a little casualties, you know, some stuff fell out. But this bin is growing and it's almost full. I mean, I might be able to start, you know, get something set back up and like aim like right here so it falls down into there, but this bin's pretty much full. So next time we get out here, I will get the 916 and the conveyor moved. I'll get this area here cleaned up, and we'll throw the slash and the scrap into the pile behind these bins in the woods, and then we can start working on the pine. But I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of each other, and I will catch you on the next one.